Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be doing my self-tanning routine. I'm going to be telling you my tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the years that I found work best for me. Of course, you're probably going to have to tweak them a little bit to best suit you, but this is just what I personally do and I found that works best. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So if you do want to see my self-tanning routine and hear all my tips and tricks, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm going to go over a couple of things I personally do for my self-tanning. I find that these are very important for a really flawless tan. Of course, everybody's going to be a little different, so you might have to tweak them a little bit to best suit you, but this is personally what I do. So I make sure I shave before anything. You can shave or you can exfoliate, or exfoliate and then shave. I personally like to shave and then exfoliate. I just find it works best for me. I don't really have any issues with like breaking out on my skin. I don't have any issues with like getting irritated or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about when you do tan that you're going to get like streaky or you're going to get blotchy or anything like that, because now you're working with a clean slate. So I make sure that day when I'm doing my self-tanning, either, you know, at night or during the day, just depending, I make sure I exfoliate in the shower, and I make sure I exfoliate really well. This way you get all the dead skin off of you and you have a clean slate to work with, so everything is really moisturized, hydrated. You won't have any dry patches, nothing like that. So everything will be clean and ready to go. And personally, I have used a lot of scrubs throughout the years, but this one I really like. It's the Frank Body. Now this is a coffee scrub. Now I personally love coffee scrubs just because I feel like they are gentle on the skin, but they still have a little oomph to them. So they do exfoliate really well without scratching my skin or leaving it really bare and dehydrated and really, you know, in not such a great shape. This one works really nicely, and I always have like really hydrated skin afterwards. I don't feel like I have to run to get my moisturizer, and personally I love that. And especially when I'm self-tanning, I don't use moisturizer. I'm going to go into that a little bit later. Okay, so after that, I usually use a body wash. Now usually when I self-tan, I just go in with the body wash for that day, and then I self-tan, and then the next day I rinse off and I don't use the body wash. And the reason for that is because a lot of body washes have oils in them, and sometimes the oils can affect the self-tanner, so I don't do it. But after I exfoliate, I do go in with a body wash, and the one I've been using lately is by The Body Shop, and this one is Vineyard Peach, and it smells so good. It's just so freaking good, and I love how this keeps my skin as well because it does moisturize my skin. I can't even open it. So it's putting a really nice layer down for my self-tanner. Personally, I love this one. This one smells so good though. It really does. It smells amazing. So I love to use that, and I do that right after I exfoliate. So then I get out of the shower and I dry it down, of course. Then I go in with my self-tanner. And the one I've been using lately is this Gold Star Beauty. Now this is a tanning oil and it has a spray, which I absolutely love. I usually don't like the lotions. I like the mousses and the oils. Personally, this one is really good. I do find that the spray is really handy because then I go in with my mitt, and this is just one I've got at Ulta. This is just one I've been using, as you guys can see. So now I just usually spray a couple of sprays on this mitt, and then I go in and I just kind of go in a circular motion. Now personally, I like to work in sections. I just find it a lot easier that way, and this kind of dries pretty fast as well, so that's another reason why I like to work in sections. So I spray a little bit on the mitt. I usually do like 4 to 5 sprays depending on like the area I'm doing. Personally, on my arm I do about 5, and then I just go in a circular motion and I go all around my arm, and then I go on top of my hand. I don't spray it again and then go on my hand, because if you do it that way, I found that you could get self-tanning hands and it doesn't look really cute. So I like to use what's left over from the spray, and I just go in a patting motion like once or twice, and then I do my other arm and do the same thing on that side. And then I continue that throughout my body. So if I'm doing my leg, I do about 6 of these sprays, and then I'll just do in a circular motion around my knee. I do bend my knee a little bit because I want to make sure everything gets covered, and I just kind of lightly go over it. And then again with my foot, I just do 1, 2 pats. Usually I'll just do the top, because when you naturally get a tan, that's exactly where you are getting tan. And then I take my lotion and put my lotion underneath my feet, because this way my feet are moisturized, and then also on the rims of my feet. It does take away from any of the self-tanner that might be left over. That might be a little too harsh. It might have like a weird little line going on, and this way it just kind of looks all even and flawless. So now when I do my face, the thing with my face is I like to do my skincare before my self-tanner. And the reason for that is I feel like if I do my self-tanner and then my skincare skincare, my skincare is not working as well, or maybe not working at all. So this way I know it's not interfering at all and it's actually working and everything is good to go, you know? So that's what I do, and usually when I do my skincare, I do my normal skincare, whatever it is for that day. So if I'm doing it in the AM, I do my AM skincare. If I'm doing it at night, I do my PM skincare, just depending. And then I'll wait like 10-15 minutes and then I'll go in with the self tanner. And again, I do use the glove. I never spray it on my face. I think I did that once and it was a big mistake. So I like to do it once or twice, just depending on how tan I want to be. And again, I like to work in sections. So I will go on like my outer rim of my face and work my way in. And the reason why I like to do that is because when you get naturally tan, you get tan first on the outer portion of your face. So usually when I do that, I make sure I don't have any makeup on for the day, of course, because I don't want anything interfering with my self tanner. And of course it's gonna depend if I do this at night or during the day. One thing I really like about this is it has a really nice smell to it, so it doesn't have like one of those nasty artificial smells. I find that it has like a really nice milky coconut smell, so I really like it. It's not like an artificial kind of smell in any way. Also, I really like that this doesn't turn throughout the day, so if you are putting it on while you're going to work or going to school or something like that, you're not going to have to worry about that self tanner smell like transitioning throughout the day, if that makes any sense. But if you guys self tan and you've done it during the day, you absolutely know what I mean. This one has like a light color guard, so you can see where you're applying it, and it does develop almost instantly, and throughout the day it will develop. That's one thing I do like about this, because it's not just an oil and you don't know where you're putting it, but it does have a very light color guard. So this also has a lot of oils in it, which I absolutely love because it hydrates my skin. So it actually absorbs into my skin and it hydrates my skin. So that's another reason why I don't usually use moisturizer, because this one is very moisturizing for my skin. It doesn't tend to dry it out like some others do. This one I can get away with not using a moisturizer, because I feel like when I'm using a moisturizer, sometimes it interferes with the self tanner and I find that it doesn't work as well. You don't get as dark as you would like. So I use this for my face and my body. I don't buy any special one for my face and then a different one for my body. I just use the same exact product for my face and body, and it's pretty much good to go. I don't find that this clogs my pores. I don't find it making me break out or anything like that. Usually if I break out, it's from something else, not my self tanner. So yeah, especially not this one. I do like that this has a lock on it, so it just locks like that and unlocks. So this way I can carry it with me if I was traveling or something like that. A lot of them don't have that. That's what I like about this one. And also the color payoff of this is really nice. It's not one of those really intense ones. You can layer it, of course. I've went over a couple of times to get a little more intensity, but it's just a really nice natural bronze. It's just really nice, especially for all year long. You can definitely layer it. You could go a little more intense if you wanted to, but I do like the more natural look. Now there are two undertones to self tanners. There's a green undertone and there's a red undertone, and this one has a green undertone. I just find it a little more flattering for my skin tone. I also find it a little more flattering for most people's skin tone, especially if you have more like natural olive skin. You want to go more with a green base than a red base. One other thing I did want to let you guys know is when I do this during the day and I'm going to go out for the day, I do put my deodorant on before I self tan, and the one I've been using lately is this Wish one, the deodorant gel. Absolutely love this. I was talking about this in my monthly favorites. I'll link that down below for you guys if you want to check it out, because I go into a little more details about this if you want to know more about this. But I do like to use this before I self tan, and then I like to self tan right afterwards. The reason for that is when I put my self tanner on and then I go in with my deodorant, sometimes the deodorant could take away from the self tanner and then you're left with like a weird little ring around your armpit area, which you absolutely don't want. So that's the reason why I do my deodorant before my self tanner. This way I don't have to worry about that. I just know my deodorant's on, it's working, and then I can self tan right afterwards and it's good to go. So did want to mention that because I don't know if anybody's really mentioned that. I've never really heard anybody talk about that before. And I did want to mention I usually clean this after every application as well. So usually what I'll do after I'm done with this completely, I will just take mild soap. I'll put a little bit on, I'll rub it together, or I'll just like rub my fingers over it, just depending on how much self tanner I used. And then I will just put it underneath water and kind of wring it out like like this, sometimes like that, depending, whatever. And then I'll just let it dry out flat somewhere. And of course, you're not going to get the color off of the mitt, but it will be clean after every application. So this way, you know, next time you go in, you're not going in with any old self-tanner or any germs or anything like that. This one is the Ulta one, like I told you guys. It is like the cheaper one, so it doesn't come with any storage for it. Sometimes I will store this in my drawer. I'll just put it flat in and I'll store it that way. It just works best for me. I find it doesn't get dirty that way, or you could just keep it on top of your vanity, whatever works. But that's how I clean that. So basically that is my self-tanning routine. That's exactly what I do. That's my tips and tricks. And of course, this is just good for me. This is what I personally find works best for me. And I know everybody's a little different, so you might have to tweak it a little bit to best suit you, but this is personally what I find works. And I've done so many self-tanning applications, like a lot of fails, trust me. So I hope it was helpful. I hope you found some interesting tips. Now, if you have a self-tanning routine, let me know in the comments what you guys do, what kind of self-tanners that you find best for you. So let me know in the comments. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Please come join our little YouTube family here. We would love to have you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.